Hi everyone, this is Josh Blatt with BW Modern. Today we're going to talk about columns. Columns are something that we can use to really, dress up our designs of what we're doing in our kitchens and baths. So they work a lot like applied-in panels, but they're just a little bit bigger in width. You can use them to make things look like they have legs on them and stuff like that. So let's go over a couple examples of how I would use columns. This is our kind of starter design from what we did in our applied ends video. So I'm going to go down to end panels and fillers. This is where the columns are located. And if I see here, we've got some different columns options. We've got some, base columns, and then, same thing, wall columns and tall columns. So, maybe I want to put, some nice big substantial columns on, this oven cabinet here. So if I click on this thing here, I can see that I've got my closest tab here. Actually isn't working. This one is, so I can move this one to 3. I'm just going to space this cabinet 3 inches off of that one. You can see here my end panel didn't like that, so I'll fix that real quick. And then I've got a 3-inch, space from this upper to this oven cabinet. So I'm going to go down here now, and I'm going to grab a tall column for the left. I'm going to bring it in. I'm going to stick it to the cabinet here, and I'm going to change it to 3 inches wide. It'll fix itself there. And then I'll grab a one for the right hand side of my tall cabinet here. So we'll go tall column right. I'll bring this thing in, stick it to the side there. We're going to make it 3 inches wide as well. You can make these columns any width that you want. I'm just doing a 3-inch one because I kind of like that size. So now you can see when we've added these columns onto here, it gives that cabinet a really neat, substantial look. It looks like it's got legs on it. So that's a neat way to use columns in a tall cabinet fashion. So now there's another cool thing that we can do here. So say I'm going to move this cabinet over to my sink cabinet here. And I'm going to put it out here like, maybe something like this. And then I'm going to grab the depth. I'm going to make the depth of it, say, 26 inches deep. So I'm going to make that base cabinet just a little bit deeper. And then I'm going to come over and I'm going to grab a base column left, stick it to it. I'm going to go ahead and make that one, let's say, 26.25. Match that depth. And I'm going to go ahead and make this one, let's go ahead and make this one, say, 4 inches wide. And then so we have a big leg on our sink cabinet there. So that was a left-hand one. Let's go ahead and grab a right-hand one. We'll bring in our right-hand one. And I'm going to make that one 4 inches as well. I'm going to change this depth to, say, 26.13. And then I'm going to move it over to the side of the cabinet there. So now this has given us a really cool kind of leg. Get over there. Oh, there's an end panel there. Let's get rid of this end panel because we don't need that in there. And then we should be able to slide this over. Okay, so now we have our columns on either side of that sink cabinet there. And then just to show you guys what it's going to look like, if I bring in just a couple standard, base cabinets that fit alongside of it, we're not putting a lot of time into figuring out math and things like that for actually fitting a room on this thing, but I'm just going to kind of show you how the columns look. So now we've got a couple 24-inch deep base cabinets on either side of our sink, and then I've created a 26-inch deep sink cabinet and then put a couple 26 and 13/16 columns on it. And now when we render this, let's take a look and see what this looks like. So now we've got like a bumped out sink detail here with a couple legs on it. Really kind of a neat design. I'm going to go ahead and just throw a couple more little cabinets in here real quick just to kind of finish up that corner there so we can get a good idea what things look like. So I'm going to come over here to my drawer cabinets. I'm going to grab a drawer. And now that I'm doing that too, this also brings up another good point just in, kitchen design while I'm doing this. I've got this cabinet in here now. It's 18 inches wide. I can see the closest here, if I look at this closest number, is 2 3/4 here. So if I make this cabinet 2 3/4 bigger, which would be 20.75, since we can do all custom sizing, that's going to fill that gap. And then say I want to another drawer bank over here. I can see it looks like I need 21 and 9/16. Get this in the right spot. Okay, and then I can make this one the 21 and 9/16, since we have full ability to make things completely custom. Okay, get over here and see what we gotta do to make this thing happy here. There we go. Now we're happy. So it looks like it needs to be 7/16 bigger still. So we still want to do that. So we're going to make it 0.4375. And hopefully fix this. There we go. Now we have it how we want. Now that we have all those spaces filled in, when I render this, we can kind of see what it looks like using some of the columns and filling in the corners. So here you can see we have our base columns where we bump that sink out to kind of give it a little bit more of a aesthetic appeal. And then we have our tall columns here on the oven cabinet, and then we've kind of filled in the corner here. So anyway, that's kind of the overview on how to use the columns features in the 3D Designer. It's a really cool tool to dress up your design a little bit. They work great on islands. I'll make another tutorial just for columns on islands, because that's kind of its own animal there. But anyway, this gives you guys an idea how to use these columns available.